The following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
Maybe we can still heal you. Why? So you could just lock me up? No. Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding. The shadows betray you because they belong to me.
In the hell do you think you are?
Okay, it's not working out. I'm gonna need the suit back.
For how long?
Forever. Yeah, let's
No, please.
Let's have it.
You don't understand. This is all I have. I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it. Okay?
So Oz, this week we were originally going to do Black Mirror and talk a little Young Justice since they debuted new episodes, but a little itty-bitty movie seemed to have come out this week that I think deserves our attention. Spider-Man just came out, and I know that we've seen it. So, I have the comic connoisseur, so I figured I'd bring on the movie connoisseur, Movie Man Migs. So, Oz, let me ask you, non-spoilery, as best we can.
Yep.
What did you think about Spider-Man?
It was great. You want a non-spoiler answer? It was I'll say it was a generational great movie because for young kids, it was cool. You got to see this guy with superpowers, and man, I get to have these. You get to see these guys with superpowers, and for the older generation, you get to think about what it was to be a young kid, and you got your action. The storyline, it was cool, but hey man, I stayed through the total end, and as a little kind of like refresher dessert breath mint after the main course of Infinity Wars and Endgame. This was cool. It was cool, man. I would say it was very cool.
And we got Movie Man Migs with us on as our special guest. We always like to bring him on whenever a big Marvel or DC movie comes out.
True.
Movie Man Migs, what did you think about Spider-Man?
Oh, I very much enjoyed it. When I screened it, I had a big smile on my face. I like where they were going. I like this one way more than I like Homecoming. Not to say I didn't like Homecoming, but it wasn't the greatest Spider-Man movie. I mean, I wouldn't put this as the greatest Spider-Man movie either, but it's up there, and it's a great entry for MCU, especially after Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And we're gonna try to keep this first part as non-spoilery as possible, because then we can really dive deep into it and get into all the spoilers after I set the table and we talk some news and stuff. But sticking with the non-spoiler vibe, I asked both of you to kind of give rankings of where you would rank this Spider-Man in the MCU as far as a top 5. Movie Man Migs, I'm going to start with you. Do you have this Spider-Man in the MCU top 5?
No, but I do have it in the top 10.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where do you have? What is your top 10?
All right. So I made this list earlier. I put some thought into this when you asked me about that. So here we go. Some of this might shock some people that some movies ain't in here. But number 1, Infinity War. Number 2, Winter Soldier. Number 3, the first Avengers movie. Number 4, Iron Man. Number 5, Black Panther. Number 6 is where Spidey Far From Home comes in.
Okay.
Number 7, Ant-Man. Number 8, Civil War. Number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy. And last but not least, and a personal favorite of mine, although I wouldn't say it's better than the MCU movies, it's just a personal favorite of mine, so I got to show it some love in the top 10, The Incredible Hulk.
Which one?
There's only one, The Incredible Hulk.
Is that, well, I'm asking, well, I know there was, so you're saying not, I guess the Ang Lee one was just called Hulk
that's
or
not,
whatever.
Yeah, well, that's not part of MCU, and that movie was, that movie had some cool stuff, but I don't even own that one.
So you're saying the Incredible Hulk, the Abomination one?
Yeah, man, and plus last year I got to see that in IMAX. They did AMC Theaters had I don't know if y'all knew this, but they had a Marvel Cinematic Universe Film Festival. So they showed stuff on different days. They had a day for like Origins. They had a day for like Captain America stuff. They had a day for like Iron Man stuff. But they showed I saw Captain America: First Avenger and The Incredible Hulk in IMAX, and those movies were not released in IMAX when they were first released. So that was a good time, man.
Okay.
Oz, first let me ask, is Far From Home, is that in your MCU top 5?
No, it's not. It's not at all.
Okay, so what is your MCU top 10?
All right. Well, I will say this. That I don't have a particular order or ranking, but I will say that
so you didn't do your homework, is what you're telling me.
Well, hold on.
That's what you're telling me, is that you didn't do your homework.
Hold tight, because I don't want to put them in order, because like they're always rotating and evolving. But I would say the only reason this current Spider-Man is not in my top 5 because it's hovering around 6 or 7 for sure. It was good. It was super good. It was a super good ride to me.
So can I ask you this? If you have it,
and I don't like Jake Gyllenhaal at all. But here, I'm gonna give you my top 10 that I got. Okay.
In order.
Okay. Well, then in order, I will say we're gonna go. For me, Black Panther gets number 1 for me, just because of her, myself being just a black, like comic nerd and black historian, and just like, it was good because it filled all of my my wants that I wanted, of just like what would have happened if the diaspora would not have happened, So anyway, so Black Panther. I'm going to go with Winter Soldier for number 2, because that, to me, and I keep saying it for people who've never seen the movie, it is the mix of Jason Bourne with Jason Bourne with a good it's an elevated sci-fi Jason Bourne. That's all I can say. It's good. It was super good. It made me happy. I got to see Falcon, which I was stoked on. So then my number 3 is going to be Civil War, because I just was living up to that hype, and the storyline. That villain was kind of lame, but I just loved the battle scenes. And again, it introduced us to Black Panther, which is awesome. Everybody was hungry and waiting for it too. And then okay. So then we get to number 4 and 5. Obviously, are going to be Infinity and Endgame. Actually, it should be Endgame then Infinity. And those were just the tie into the Marvel world was just great. It's just I'm excited for what's happening. And then what do we got here? I also you know what? I like Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm putting it on there just because Tom Holland, I like that dude, Spider-Man. And well, I said my number 6 was in there for this Spider-Man 2. So I owe 2 more, right?
I don't know. You lost me as far as the numbers go, but just keep going. Let's go.
I think you're on 6 or 7.
I'll tell you. I owe 2 more because I was at 8. So,
all right.
The other 2, Marvel Universe, right? Man, that's tough. I like what Mick said, that the Hulk that had Eric Bana in it is the best Hulk ever made. So.
Whoa! What?
Oh, sorry, not Eric Bana. I'm sorry, the Hulk that had the guy who got kicked out, dude, who American History X, Ed Norton.
Edward Norton. I'm about to say,
yeah.
Eric Bana was. I like
Eric Bana. It was man. Ang Lee. That was just crazy. It was a superhero art house piece. I recently rewatched that, and Nick Nolte. If you have Nick Nolte in something, you're going to be like, man, it's going to take me another 48 hours to digest this movie with Nick Nolte in it. So the Hulk gets in there, and I'm going to put the last movie, the first Avengers movie, just because it introduced us to the MCU.
Okay. All right. That's a solid 10. Okay.
Solid 10.
All right. So my top 10 goes as follows. Endgame is number 1 for me. I just think with the amount of hype they had, very few movies can actually deliver on 10 years of build-up and hype. And I know the movie wasn't perfect, but I thought it was a good conclusion to what we've had so far. Number 2, we're all in agreement, Winter Soldier for me. Number 3, the first Iron Man. I think, the movie that started it all, I just watched it the other day. It still holds up really well. And I think Terrence Howard did a great roadie, and I really would have enjoyed him if he would have continued on. Number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's a really underrated movie. Number 5, Black Panther. Number 6, Far From Home slides in there. I really enjoyed Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, The Avengers, the first one. I think we've spoken on that. That's the first team up. Like, that was one of those movies that had a lot of hype, and I think it really delivered. The costumes don't really hold up in that movie.
I know.
The story is pretty good, and that final sequence of seeing all of them team up is done really well. Number 8 is where I think I'm gonna get some flack, but Thor Ragnarok is my number 8 movie.
It's a good ride.
I enjoy Thor Ragnarok. I thought Valkyrie is really is a really good character in that as well. Number 9 is Civil War. And then because we get Spider-Man and Black Panther, their introduction, I think that was very important to nail those 2 characters as far as their first appearances. And I thought Tom Holland and Chadwick did a great job with that. Number 10 is Infinity War.
Okay. It's a pretty solid list, fellas.
So, and that's kind of why I wanted the 3 of us to do that, is because, I know we'd have a lot of similarities as far as Civil War and Winter Soldier and the first Avengers, but then I knew we'd have some differing ones, and like Migs has the Incredible Hulk on there, and Ant-Man, a lot of people.
Ant-Man's good.
Yeah, a lot of people will sleep on Ant-Man, and that's, for a smaller character and it not even being Hank Pym, really, like, I thought they did a really good job with that. So that, that's a good call right there. Migs, just real quick, what makes Ant-Man, what puts it in that top 10 for you?
I just thought that it was low key dope. It was different. Like I said, I like Scott Lang's story more so than Hank Pym, and I think it the CGI looked good. The jokes were funny. It was just, it didn't have that big superhero feel. It was low key, and I like the low key stuff too.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And Oz, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but a little bit more details as to why Black Panther is your number 1 movie.
Oh well, it's pretty simple. I just on a cultural tip, just on a cultural tip, it's really cool because I think the world needed to have a couple things. The world needed to have a black superhero movie that had all black cast, and you saw this. You saw multiple layers of a villain and everything too. I think the masses needed to have a black centric movie that was directed, production design, production coordinated, costume design by black folk, to show that we can do this and make a lot of money off that too. It resonated a lot with me, and I just the fight scene, man, the fight scene at the end on the train was just terrible. But then again, when they were in the casino, I like that fight scene too. There's
that was a dope fight scene.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that just like, I understand some of the things, but you can't take away from this. Oh man, seriously, the end fight scene was just so booty. But man, it just on so many levels, it was just cool, and it just showed a lot of potential. I think it opened the door for a lot of future black sci-fi driven stuff. And props out to Will Smith all the time for like doing that too. But this was cool. And again, I love the possibilities of, man, Wakanda is out there now, True
that. I really want to get into spoilers about Spider-Man, so allow me to set the table. This is Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC. I am your host, Regular Scott. I am here with the comic connoisseur himself, who had the chance to earn the Kraven the Hunter title back, but we'll get into that a little bit later. We got the comic connoisseur, the mighty Ozzy Killmonger. Oz, what's going on?
What is up, good people?
And we got now, I am labeling him the movie connoisseur, Movie Man Migs. Movie Man Migs, what's going on?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, everybody listening? How y'all doing this evening? Hope everybody's good.
Yes, sir. And you can find us on Twitter at for Marvel vs. DC. That's the number 4. Email us at for Marvel vs. DC at godefylife.com. You can download our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, and anywhere else that you download your podcast. Migs, go ahead and plug anything you want to plug.
Well, first, let me say congratulations to y'all show, because y'all doing big things, and I love that y'all are on iHeart, because I've been listening to iHeart for quite some time. So now I got all the Defy Life podcasts on there, so that's what's up. Congratulations to you, Scott, for becoming a father.
I appreciate that.
That's what's up too. Mm-hmm. And then as far as I'm concerned, y'all can catch me on godefylife.com under the entertainment tab, Movies with Migs. That's all the written stuff. I'm also on Facebook, Movies with Migs, Instagram, Movies with Migs. There I post other content. I post the links to the reviews on there too, but I try to be fun and interactive on those pages. So I just, I do a little different stuff. The home of the quick reviews, that's Movie with Migs, my little 1-minute reviews. So yeah, check me out, hit me up. I love interaction. So yeah, people keep it coming. We doing big things this year.
No doubt. And speaking of your minute reviews, I actually, as of recording this today, I actually caught one of your reviews, and it kind of made me. I already wanted to see the movie, but now after seeing your review, I'm definitely going to see it. And that was Midsummer. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, well, I think it's Midsommar. I had to look to see if that's real or not.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, I'm still I can still see stuff in my head from that movie. It's bugged out for real. Like this director, what's his name? Let me look at his name real quick. I forgot what it was. But this director, this dude is on some other stuff with his movies. I don't know if he has anything besides Midsommar and Hereditary, but those two movies are crazy. I wasn't a big fan of Hereditary. I seen that in Alabama when I was there last year. I was actually falling asleep. I had to stand up because the theater was kind of empty. I had to stand up and wake myself back up with that one. It had some creepy stuff going on. Have y'all seen that movie? Did y'all see Hereditary?
No, but I heard a lot of crazy reviews about that though.
All right, well I'll let y'all watch that. We can talk about that another time. But Midsommar, this joint was crazy. Yeah, like I said in my review, I am never, ever going to Sweden.
Yeah. And look, and when I saw it, I was like, that is my type. I love the weird, just like off-the-wall type horror movies. And what you said, it just resonated with me.
it takes a little while, but once the stuff starts kicking in, and there's stuff in that movie where like I was watching it and I thought I was tripping at first, but they do that on purpose. So when you watch it, you'll see. Just look closely at some of the things that's happening, not only in the background but actual in the foreground too. Because, man, yeah, like I said, woo.
Is it out on Reno, or how do you see it?
Nah, it's in a theater. It just
Okay.
Actually, it just came out yesterday. It might have been out. I think it released on some of the the like small, or not small, like some of just like the bigger markets only. So it might have been out like in New York or California already. I don't know if this was like a film festival film, but the studio A24, they've been putting out some low key dope stuff. Because I just seen Last Black Man in San Francisco, and that was from A24 Studios, and that's a really, really good movie. It's different from a lot of stuff, and just the writing on it. I liked it. I had to go into Baltimore to go check it because for some reason it's not at some of the bigger chains, but thankfully Baltimore has the Charles, which is like it's a theater for indie stuff, and I like going to that theater because they have events and whatnot. They do anime nights. They show old school stuff. So I watched Ninja Scroll and
that's cool.
Yeah, and Ghost in the Shell, the anime, both of those in that theater. I've watched some, and I go to screenings there sometimes. They have them at that theater sometimes, not usually, but I think I watched Escape Room in there. That was the last screening I went to at that theater. But if y'all ever in Baltimore, man, check that out. But yeah, man, Midsommar, it's different. It's definitely not for everybody, but I'll watch anything at least once. So.
Man, the reviews sound crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like and like I said, I'm not gonna spoil nothing, but the first 10 minutes and the last 30 minutes is like, what the hell?
That is awesome. My kind of movie. All right, let's get into some news. I always got some news tidbits. Unfortunately, we don't have any emails this week. Steph Blurdy didn't have nothing to say to us this week. I was kind of disappointed. I'm still trying to figure out who that is. I've been doing some investigating, and I haven't quite figured it out, so, that's okay.
Yo, that Steph Blurdy person was going in.
Yeah,
didn't they have
right?
a 4-part question?
Right.
Or it was like 3 questions and like, don't let Oz ever host again. I was like, dang. Yeah.
And that's why I want to know who it is. I was hoping he was going to send us something this week. Give us some more clues.
Hey, that was funny. Look, we were listening to all the podcasts when we drove. We had to. I had came back from South Carolina because I went down there for a wedding. So we were listening to the podcast on the way back up. Y'all be having me cracking up for real.
Man, yeah, it's Steph Blurdy, dude. Advice taken, Steph Blurdy. Don't worry, Rector Scott will never ever give me the microphone again.
I might.
What?
I've had a child, so I'm a little bit more compassionate.
Oh yes. See, I heard that happens when you have a kid.
All right, let's get into some news. Sticking with the Spider-Man theme, Shailene Woodley is being eyed for Spider-Woman in the next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 3. That is the potential rumor going around. Do both of you know who Shailene Woodley is?
No.
I don't.
She's the lead character from Divergent, the Divergent series.
Okay.
Wait, the one. Okay, so is that the main one?
Yeah, the main girl from Divergent.
Okay. All right, I'm looking at her now.
Are they gonna make this Spider-Gwen?
No, Spider-Woman.
Nah, Spider-Woman.
Spider-Woman?
That's the joint in the red costume, right? Yep. With the red and yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica Drew?
Yes.
Speaking of Spider-Man, do y'all remember when that picture came out and she was posed and it had like her ass in the air and all these people got mad at that? Do y'all remember that?
Who, Spider-Woman?
Yeah, like a male artist drew her in a spider pose, but it was kind of like a sexual spider pose, and then all these people got pissed off, but then it was funny because Spider-Man poses like that all the time too, so it was just kind of, y'all don't remember that? It was like maybe a couple of years ago.
Nah, but it doesn't surprise me that the double standard struck again.
Yeah, well, I mean, but male artists are going to be male artists, so I get it on that hand. But at the same time, too, if you're a fan of Spider-Man, and especially when they started drawing him more detailed and whatnot, this dude be in all kind of Kama Sutra poses. So.
Right, exactly. I mean, every time you see him perched up on like a rooftop, he's in a pose like that.
Yeah.
So. All right. Let's see what else we got. Oh, what do you so Migs, I know you know who that is. You said how do you feel about her being Spider-Woman? She was potentially supposed to be Mary Jane Watson in the Amazing Spider-Man series.
Man, look, I wish they would have did something else with that movie. Don't make me have PTSD because
hey, he was a really good Spider-Man though in a bad movie.
Oh, I love Andrew Garfield. I thought he was great, man.
Yeah, I did too.
Amazing Spider-Man is dope. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care. Andrew Garfield was dope in that. He just was in a poorly scripted sequel.
I agree.
Oh my gosh, that graduation scene, like what? Like, oh man, come on! And
it was two teen soap opera.
Yeah, dude, that Rhino, I don't know what that was.
That was bad.
Paul Giamatti, that was terrible.
Yep.
Jamie Foxx was terrible.
Yep.
Freaking the Green Goblin with the axe hair gel do and the green splotches of makeup on his face. Come on, man.
Well, they tried to do too much. Like you like. Just pick a villain and make that villain great instead of having three really bad villains.
Yeah, and it's just like, dude, nobody wants to see, Paul Giamatti in some Rhino suit that just looked like a piece of crap.
I know.
And it was just like, come on, man. If you're gonna do Rhino, at least have a bigger guy and some. I mean, come on, you tell me they couldn't make a suit like that? I'm pretty sure they could or something, or just not. I don't know, man. I was big time upset with that. I was in Colorado, and I went to this IMAX that they had just built, and it was huge, man. This thing, like one of the bigger IMAXs that I've been to, and I'm all excited. The movie opened up great with the web slinging, and then it just descended into a turd. Oh,
I know. And all of it was just super compacted and just super convenient, Yeah,
it was bad. I don't own that one either. So I don't have Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I don't have Spider-Man 3.
Well, I think what they were doing, instead of trying to make a good sequel, I think they tried to use that sequel to set up a Sinister Six movie instead of just making a good sequel.
It was just very lazy. It's just super lazy, just like no thought. It was bad.
Yeah, it was oof. I mean, come on, Jamie Foxx in that was. I was laughing, but at the same time, I was just like, "What is this crap?"
And the worst part is, he's a really good actor. They just stuck him with some terrible stuff to work with. Like, why would you make that character like that?
Everybody just went out and got paid on that and said, "All right, this is the last one. Get your money."
Yeah, but I agree with you, Migs. I thought, and I've said it before on this show, I thought Andrew Garfield was a really strong Spider-Man. Like everything about Tom Holland, he is really good, but Andrew Garfield to me kind of embodied that ultimate Spider-Man vibe.
Yeah, I was with that, and I just really like what he did with the character and how he portrayed it in Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah. And I like the increased sarcasm. I like the sleeker, skinnier look, because he's got that body type to where he's kind of like how they were drawing Spider-Man like in the 90s when he was real popular. He just had more sleeker, more defined muscles. Because in the 80s he just kind of he looked like everybody kind of looked the same. There wasn't a lot of distinction between a lot of the characters. I mean, some people had their own styles that you could tell, but I think Spider-Man in the 90s that's like definitive Spider-Man right there.
No doubt. Sandman. The Sandman TV series is being developed at Netflix.
Are you talking DC Sandman?
Yes, sir. DC Sandman is being developed for a Netflix TV series. What are your What are your thoughts on that?
That's interesting. we'll see. Neil Gaiman, right? Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
we'll see. We'll see what comes out of that, because a lot of that stuff could, it could be, it's an easy gateway drug into Constantine or whatever too. But yeah, I'm open, man. And I think it's now people are just saying we can make a lot of money off comics. Let's get it in for TV and for movies. Let's go.
And I think this is kind of Netflix's answer to losing a lot of the Marvel properties as well.
Absolutely.
You know, Migs, what are your thoughts on Sandman?
Well, I'm not, as far as DC is concerned, I'm not a big reader of DC comics. I'm more into DC, and I've always been like this with their animation and their animated features. You know,
Definitely.
I'm into the DCEU movies, but for DC, for me, it was all about Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, the Justice League stuff. You know, they've been cranking out these animated features, and most of them have been good. So I can say that. But as far as the TV stuff, like I checked out of all the DC TV shows that I was watching. So I don't watch Supergirl anymore, which I really love when it started. I checked out of Legends of Tomorrow season 2. I checked out of Arrow season 3. Gotham lost me early season 2. I didn't even watch what was the other one that was out?
They had The Flash.
Yeah, I was into The Flash the longest, but then I just kind of, I kind of checked out of that too. Those like Flash and Supergirl was still on though, right?
Yeah, they're all still on. Arrow will be ending next season with its 8th season.
Okay, so they still Legends of Tomorrow is still around and stuff.
Yep, that's still around. That one's got wild, but
yeah, I mean, I like what they were doing with some of the stuff, and then some of it just kind of got stale, and then I kind of fell off with stuff. You know, me and Gina used to like sit down and have our nights where we would watch that stuff and we'd be all into it. But it's funny too, because it seems like our little groups that, we were kind of in on social media where we were talking about stuff, those groups just kind of fizzled too, because people just kind of stopped watching. Like we had a set of people we would always talk Flash with and talk Supergirl with, and everybody just kind of started checking out the shows.
Yep.
Yeah, people started. To me, it seems like people kind of just waited for the big crossover specials more so than the actual TV shows themselves. Yeah. If that makes sense. But sticking with the DCEU, this might rub some people the wrong way. Some people might love it. Reported by WeGotThisCovered.com, Keanu Reeves is being eyed to play Deathstroke in a DCEU upcoming movie.
Oh, yeah?
What are your thoughts on Keanu Reeves as Deathstroke? Because Marvel's trying to get him too, and I'm sure he's not going to be able to do both.
Yeah, it's just too much. I mean, he's already like John Wick, like master killer. Why do? That's just strange,
I mean, that's probably the why though. But I mean, I like the dude that was in Arrow.
Yeah, Manu Bennett. Yeah, he was good. He was a good Deathstroke.
I like him. And then wasn't somebody else supposed to play him?
Joe Manganiello, I think his name is.
Yeah, did he play him, or was he supposed to play him or something?
He was in a post-credit scene for him. I think it was Justice League when he breaks Lex Luthor out of jail. I think.
Okay, yeah, right. So so that's no more.
Yeah, apparently that's not going to happen. The story goes he was supposed to play Deathstroke when Ben Affleck was still supposed to be Batman and writing and producing his Batman movie. He wanted Deathstroke to be that main villain, and he would have played him in that movie.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm still kind of sad that we didn't get to see the Matt Reeves and Ben Affleck duo for the Batman.
Me too.
Now I'm interested in what Robert Pattinson is going to do, and I don't mind the casting choice. I didn't get all crazy because we don't know what he's going to do yet, and everybody wants to keep talking about Twilight, but that ain't got nothing to do with this. So hopefully it'll be good. I'm a big Matt Reeves fan. He did the last two Planet of the Apes movies, and those are just superb. So, I want to see what they do. They keep cranking out Batman movies and rebooting, which that's probably going to continue until forever with that character. But I'm there for it, man. I grew up with Batman, so if there's a Batman movie coming out, I'm gonna watch it no matter what.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'll admit I was one of the ones who had a very knee-jerk reaction to Robert Pattinson being cast, but like you said, he is a good actor, and Twilight is behind him, and he's proven that he can carry a franchise, and something has to be said for being able to carry a franchise. And he was a big part of that, being the face of Twilight. And he did carry that franchise for a good portion of it. So, I think what you're saying is fair. We need to see what he's got, see what he brings to the table. And if it's a good script, he doesn't have to blow people away as much as he just needs to do a good job.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we get, if they're gonna do like a reboot or restart or whatever, I'm hoping that we get a more detective Batman. Like kind of, I want to see the animated series come to life. I don't want to see another crazy high tech Batman that's got all the crazy suits and all. I mean, Batman's always had gadgets and stuff, but I want to see the stealth Batman, the detective. I want to see him sneaking around. I want to see a gray and blue suit. I don't want to see all black. I like what they did with Ben Affleck's thing, but he was super armored out too. I just want to see street level Batman.
Yeah, no, I'm with that, and I think we're gonna get more grounded Batman, and I think to your point, I think that's why Christopher Nolan's trilogy works so well, because that's a more street level Batman. He's not saving the world, he's just saving Gotham, or he's saving a boat in Gotham. That's part of why his movies work so good, and it's like what you said about Ant-Man. That smaller scale makes the consequences, a little bit more meaningful, more impactful.
Yeah. See, I like the Nolan trilogy for the most part, but a lot of people disagree with me in this because I enjoy Batman Begins better than the other two, and over Dark Knight as well. I just think that Batman Begins was a great Batman movie. I don't think The Dark Knight was a Batman movie. He was like featured in that movie. That was more. It just turned into more about the Joker and stuff, and just because whatchamacallit, dying and all that stuff. And it's still a solid movie. It really is. I like their rivalry in that, but a lot of people don't realize, and I've had conversations about this before, because they say, oh, he was so original, he was this, he was that. I was like, if you compare what Joker did in The Dark Knight, that Joker, to Jack Nicholson's Joker, Jack Nicholson did a lot of that stuff in 88 or 89 when that movie came out.
As in, what do you mean?
Like actions and things that he did. So okay, so we can just comparing, like, all right, so he take over a TV station. Jack Nicholson did that. Have the citizens of Gotham under as hostages somehow. Jack Nicholson did that. Crash a party messing with Bruce Wayne's love interest. Jack Nicholson did that. Kill a gangster in a dope way. Jack Nicholson did that. Just kind of some of those things. Even the standoff in the middle of the street where Batman's coming at you in a vehicle and he's just standing there. Jack Nicholson did that. He just the showdown in a high rise. That was Batman and Jack Nicholson. They did that too. I mean, it was just a lot of things that people were, oh man, it was so original. I'm like, wait a minute, but they did that in the other movie. And I'm not saying they copied it, like per se, but a lot of they did a lot of that stuff. And I'm not downplaying it because of that, but I like Batman Begins more. When Batman Begins came out, and I remember when the trailer hit, if you watch the first trailer, you don't even know that's a Batman movie till like the very end when he opens up that cabinet and the mask is in there. I was like, what the heck is this? Like you're watching, like, okay, this is interesting. Then he opens that up and like, wait a minute, this is a new Batman, because it wasn't really announced that a Batman movie was coming out. They just kind of hit you with it, like, bam, Christopher Nolan's doing this. Like, oh, whoa, what is this? Okay.
And you see Oz. That's and Migs. You know, I've talked to Oz about how I would introduce Nightwing to the movie world, and the same way they kind of did that with the trailer, how you don't know it's Batman until the end. That's how I would do with Grayson. I would, introduce him as a secret agent, a spy, and you don't know who he's spying for or what his real name is, either until the end of the movie or a big trailer reveal. Because that's how you get somebody invested. Like, you were invested in that movie even before you saw the cow.
Yeah, man.
So I love it. It director Andy Muschietti is in talks to direct the Flash movie with Ezra Miller still attached.
Whoa, okay.
Ezra Miller, huh?
Now, I've heard about 5 or 6 or 7, or we can even get up to 9 different things about this Flash movie. I've heard Ezra Miller's not going to be in it. I've heard he is going to be in it. I've heard he's working on the script. I've heard he's not working on the script. I've heard they're going to recast. I've heard they're not going to recast. So honestly, anything I've heard about the Flash movie, I've kind of taken with a grain of salt. Oz, let me ask you, do you still want a Flash movie at this point?
It goes like this, man. I don't know what DC and Warner Brothers are trying to do. I don't know what their end game, or I don't know what they're trying to do right now. I will say this: if they make that cat in the Flash movie, they better make a new suit so he doesn't look like he's running like he's bow-legged.
It ain't got nothing to do with the suit. We ain't got to get a new actor
at super speed. Well, I don't. He was quirky enough. But really, again, I want to get back to the basics. It's okay, everybody, if you have a blonde hair Flash. It's okay. It's okay if you have a Flash that's already in the science department of the police department. It's okay. Forensics. It's all right. You can do that. Everybody always is trying to do these introduction characters. Just let these people do it. Let the audience catch up. The audience are smart. People are smart. Yeah. So let's start with someone fresh. We can do this.
True that. Migs, are you still interested in a Flash movie?
Yeah, I would be, but I think just basing the what they did with the character, like in Justice League, because he was kind of the fun guy, the comic relief. I don't think we need that kind of Flash now, especially after Shazam. Then Shazam's out, and Shazam is kind of like the fun, kind of goofy because he's still a kid. I'd like to see a more seasoned Flash at this point, especially if they're going to use Ezra Miller. I'd like to see him. Okay, I've been doing this for a little while. I've had battles with the Justice League. We've done some stuff. I need to be just a little bit more serious about this. I don't necessarily like the jokester Flash all the time.
True that. Okay, that's all I got for the news. Like I said, I'm really excited to dive deep into Spider-Man. So I'm gonna play a quick commercial, and then right after the commercial, we're going spoilers. All spoilers. We're diving right into Spider-Man: Far From Home. We're gonna jump around, so we might even start with the post-credit scenes because I thought those were really cool. All right, so I'm going to play a quick commercial, and this commercial is actually for Oz and Movie Man Migs. I'm going to play a Anything, Everything, and Nothing commercial by our favorite Defy Life ladies, Lynn and Kim. All right, we'll be right back. Shots fired. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with Lynn and Kim. Join us as we discuss the latest in everything from entertainment and current events to the craziness that is our real life.
Let's laugh, let's live, let's talk about it. New episode every Tuesday on the Defy Life Podcast Network. And remember, if you're not defying life, then what are you doing? Lynn and Kim.
And we are back. That was Anything, Everything, and Nothing, the Lynn and Kim show. Make sure you definitely check them out. By the time I got the okay from Jay, so we can talk about it. A little spoiler alert. But yeah, Lynn and Kim, I've moved on in the battleground, and they took out Oz and Movie Man Migs. That's why you heard Migs say shots fired when I decided to play their commercial.
Look, Lynn and Kim, I love y'all, but I want credit for that assist last night. I love y'all show. Y'all be having me cracking up. I told them, look, I was at the gym listening to them, and I almost dropped a weight on myself because I was laughing at the stuff they were saying. But I need credit for that assist for last night because I was about to make my comeback, and I was so sure of myself, and I was wrong.
Hey, I thought you was about to come back too because you've done it before, so I thought you was about to start rolling again.
Look,
too.
I was ready, man. I was disappointed in myself, and
I know.
I said something else stupid too. I said Staten Island instead of Long Island, and I knew that. I don't know why I blurted out Staten Island. And then, like I said, I thought I was sure on that Rudy Giuliani question, and man, it just And then it was a double point question that just bam, made them win the first round and just snuffed me in Oz. So yeah, I'm gonna need some credit for that, Miss Lynn and Miss Kim.
Yeah, that was a bit painful, man. And I hate when I'm confident and I'm wrong. So I'm just saying. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be watching a lot more Jeopardy all this week for the next year probably. But
so
yeah,
I guess,
man, hey, congrats to Lynn and Kim because them girls smart.
Congrats to
they smart, dude. They smart for real.
So I guess what they say is true. 2 heads are better than 1.
Man, dude. hey,
I ain't mad at them.
No. They did good. Congratulations, Lynn and Kim.
As a male species, as a male gender, 2 heads are better than 1. So I would just say that.
Hey, and you know what? They held it down for the ladies. That's the only ladies we got that made it at advance because the other 2 women we had on the Battleground episode, they didn't make it in the first one. So shout out to Lynn and Kim.
If I would have been on that first round, it would have been game over. I would have had all that would have been mine because I was listening to that and I was just getting perturbed at some of those wrong answers. Somebody said they asked about a Steven Spielberg movie that came out in the 80s, and somebody said the original Star Wars, and I was so upset at that.
No, it was. I know exactly which one because I asked Oz that question just to see what he would do. It was the George Lucas Harrison Ford one.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. And I was like, okay, look, I understand why you said Star Wars, but you didn't even say Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. You said the original Star Wars, which came out in the late 70s. Like, come on.
There you go. That was the big clue right there.
Yeah, and then there was something else too that they said. It broke my heart. Oh yeah, they answered that they didn't know the Outcast question. I was like,
oh my
what?
Gosh. Yes. Yeah, that first game, they missed some pretty.
Man,
easy
I wish I would have known Suave the Thinker wouldn't have made it because I would have gladly taken his place. Dude. That's all I'm saying.
Suave the Drinker. Shout out to Suave.
Suave the Drinker.
Shout out to Suave. It was his birthday. Give him a break.
Hey, yeah. So drink all you want to. Think and drink all you want to on your birthday, man.
All right. So, I love to play One's Gotta Go. So in honor of Spider-Man, we're gonna play One's Gotta Go. One of the Spider-Man movies has to go, and we're gonna do the actors. So one of the 3 actors has to go: Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, or Tom Holland. That means all their movies are gone.
Oh Lord, dang.
See, hold on. Hold up. Now, I gotta interject. So
you always do. So let's do it.
Well, you know, man, I'm still bitter over the battleground. But hey, no. So here, regular Scott, let's clarify.
Okay.
You said one's got to go, and usually when we do one's got to go, that means they are gone forever.
Yes.
Their existence is gone forever.
Yes.
So you know that has definite implications if you say that about Tom Holland when his first appearance.
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
I know.
all right,
Yeah,
hey,
I know exactly what I asked.
Hey, let's party.
Let's
do
do it.
play.
Who wants to go first?
The guest.
Oh yeah, I see you. You gave that to Migs quick on that one.
I mean, I just talked about loving the guy, but if you're gonna do it like that, then Andrew Garfield's gonna go because he's only got one solid Spider-Man movie.
Right.
That's fair.
I cannot get rid of Toby because of Spider-Man 2. I just can't, dude. Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man live action.
Thank you. I still stand by that. And I get flack for that, but I still stand by that, man.
I can't get rid of that, dude. I just watched that again the other day, and I ain't seen it in a while. That, man,
the train scene does it. The train scene does it.
Yeah, just the whole. Like,
oh wait, the octopus with Doc Ock and everything.
Yeah, I mean, him as a villain just really propels that movie too. It was just that to me right there was a good representation of Dr. Octopus. I mean, it's the it's as far as Otto Octavius, it's the only one we have for live action. But I just think that what's the dude's name? Alfred Molina.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He did a great job with that, and those tentacles. And because it was Sam Raimi, I like when the tentacles are like they show their point of view because that's kind of like how the camera worked in Evil Dead, which is also by Sam Raimi. So I really love that, and just those fight scenes. I mean, like I said, the train scene, just the end, the whole. Man, that movie is damn near perfect.
Oz.
Well, it's not Tim Holland, dude. I like that guy, Tom Holland. Sorry. I like
Tom Holland.
I'm gonna say Andrew Garfield, right? Or Garland? Is it Garfield?
Garfield.
Yeah, man, he's a great actor. I really felt the first Spider-Man that he was in. It was cool. But he's out, dude. Because I can't get rid of Tom because if I get rid of Tom, that means that all the Avengers are gone too.
No, it doesn't.
Well, because he was in. So if he's in Civil War. All the interactions, all the fights. Well, all they're not gone, but all the interactions, all the fight scenes. No, I can't get rid of him because that would lead to a whole lot of mishaps.
Yeah. Tom Holland's too solid now. He's definitely, like I say, he's not my favorite, and I'm not just because I'm not a huge fan of, teenage Peter Parker still in high school. But he's solid, man, and he's been in what? He was in the Civil War. Yeah. He's got 2 of his own movies, and then he was in
both. He was in both Avengers.
Yeah, Infinity War, and then he had the little emotional scene in Endgame that made people cry. Like
he had both emotional scenes. He had an emotional scene in Infinity War too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was now. See the one in Infinity War, he was all jacked up because his spider senses were going nuts. That kind of, I was like, oh dang.
Yeah.
And then, people, I didn't cry at Endgame, but when Mr. Stark, dude, people were in the theater bawling. Like, you could hear it. And I was like, oh, man, so that right there, man, like, for me, when I hear people or see people react like that, that's some good stuff right there. Because, a lot of times movies don't, when a movie hits me like that, then I know, like, wow, like, okay, you've done something extraordinary. And I'm not just saying that just because, but there's very few movies that give me an emotional impact like that. And and just to, like I said, it didn't hit me like that, but to see it with other people, I was like, wow, that's something special right there. That's some investment.
No, I like all that, and it's probably I think a lot of this has to do with just me getting older and being an old curmudgeon, but man, there is nothing wrong with showing an older Flash, an older Spider-Man. There's nothing wrong with it. It's still, Hollywood is on some wheatgrass craziness, man. It's like they still believe that you have to make this character be young to be the introduction character. You can have an older Spider-Man, because I'm interested in seeing that older, like the older Spider-Man, and there's so many storylines you can do with that guy too, man.
Well, to be fair, he would have been like 23 in this movie if he wasn't snapped away. To be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Yeah, I get that.
To be fair, he would be like 23 if he wasn't snapped away. I'm going with you guys. It's got to be Andrew Garfield. I grew up with Tobey Maguire, and everything Mig said about Spider-Man 2, I agree. I think that's probably still the best Spider-Man movie. That train scene for me, when he's holding that train and his mask is off, and the people just, they appreciate him.
They hold him up.
Yeah, they hold him up.
They literally hold him up.
They save his life. They literally save his life after he saves their life. And it's that scene said more without saying a word. They handed him his mask back. It's just a beautifully done scene.
Yeah, and that scene right there, that scene speaks the most about Spider-Man being a New Yorker and living in New York, because that's how he really is in the comics. Like, they love Spider-Man, dude. They know that he is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He is going to fuck up a criminal and do the right thing by you too. It's they love it.
Yeah, we can forget about Spider-Man 3, but we'll just leave it at Spider-Man 2.
Man.
Spider-Man 3 had some very I'll put it nicely, some very cringe-worthy scenes with emo Peter Parker, but that's a whole nother ballgame I do not want to start. All right, but sticking with that Sam Raimi Spider-Man, time to get into some spoilers. So spoiler alert. I'm jumping back to the post-credit scenes. J. Jonah Jameson, J.K. Simmons is back.
Yeah, man.
And so let me just dive right into it. Spider-Man has just been framed for murder. And we'll talk about that as well. I mean, that threw me for a twist. I didn't see that coming as an end credit scene. What do you guys think about Spider-Man being framed for murder?
Well, and his identity exposed too.
And his identity exposed. Yes, that's correct. Migs, what did you think about all that?
No, that might be the best post-credit or during credit scene that MCU has had so far. I mean, the screening audience, we all cheered when it was like, wait, what? Like, hold up, that is meta right there. That is like beyond meta that y'all got him back, just because that was one thing consistent through the 3 Raimi movies was J.K. Simmons is James Jonah. Like, that dude is James Jonah. Like, they did the right thing with that by getting him, because sure, somebody else could have done it and they could have been great at it, but that right there, yeah, you just up the ante with that big time. Yeah. And for them to expose him like that, I mean, that's like James Jonah's dream. I don't know if he ever found that out in the comics. I don't think so, to my knowledge. So, the way they just had the news on it like that, and this dude's just dropping dimes, like, like, this is okay. What are we gonna have? The third movie's got to be crazy. It's got to be. And I hope they don't just like address it real quick and then it just goes away. I want to see that. I want to see that develop into something.
So let me ask you this. This is me fantasy booking, armchair booking and fantasy booking. Is this a way to introduce, because I think Peter Parker is going to need a lawyer. Is this a way to introduce Matt Murdock to the big screen MCU?
Oh, that's pretty smart.
I mean, they could, but I think when you say that, I think we're talking from some high level nerd stuff that
might be true.
Probably won't be that ambitious in a movie. I would love it.
Oh,
I really would, because they team up all the time.
All the time.
I can mess you guys up. I can mess you guys up real quick.
Well, hold on. Let's go ahead and plug the segment. Uncle Oz is about to give away $1 million. Here we go.
Okay, I'm going to give you 2 quick scenarios here. Now, see, I love Migs, I love all that, and regular Scott. So it could be an awesome movie, or they could easily if they wanted to be cheap about it, Edith, spoiler alert, Edith could, since she's got reign over all the satellites, she could easily fix what he did, right? But I get you, dude. Regular Scott, I get you introducing Matt Murdock. Matt Murdock is an awesome defense lawyer, but why not introduce Jessica Walters, She-Hulk, dude? Why not do that?
Hey, you know what? I just made a bet. We just played poker right there, and you just re-raised me right there. That's a great call.
Why not introduce She-Hulk? Because Matt's still low level. She-Hulk elevates it up to still. You got the Hulk there. Oh, come on, man. We could have some fun with this for a long time.
I really, really like that, because I think She-Hulk is somebody who is another female character they could have that could easily carry a movie.
And you know what? She always represents celebrity, like superhero clients, dude.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Matt Murdock's for the people, but they introduce that, it's all over with, dude. It's all over with.
I do. And you know what? Maybe Migs is right. Maybe we are just nerding out a little bit too much. But I think that's a great idea, man. Or you could even, like you said, since Matt Murdock's a little lower level, maybe Matt Murdock tries and he fails, because I like what Migs is saying. This should be drawn out a little bit. This shouldn't be resolved very quickly. So maybe he tries and he fails, and we still get introduced to him, but then he introduces us to She-Hulk.
And shout out to J.K. Simmons too. He's so good. He played. They cut it hardcore on Stars. He was in this show called Counterpart. And that show was awesome, dude. He's a great actor, man. He's super talented. He's great.
Definitely. Migs, what did you think about the second after credit scene that showed Nick Fury and Maria Hill were Skrulls the entire movie?
Yeah, so I like that, but I think some of their dialogue at the beginning didn't make sense. I was talking to Gina about this. Okay, so y'all know when the movie first opens and they're in, where were they, in Mexico or whatever, and they're by themselves, but they're talking like Nick Fury and Maria, and I was like, okay, now we find out they're Skrulls. They were doing that for our sake, to fool the audience. They wouldn't be talking like that to each other privately. They'd be talking like Skrulls. But then there's another part that kind of gives you a hint at something if you caught it, when they're when he first picks him up as Fury and they go to the little underwater or underground layer that's kind of like on the water. Yeah. They were talking about the alternate universes, and he says he's not this on your world, and it's like, okay, why would Nick Fury say your world? So I was like, okay, caught that the second time.
Yeah,
and his reaction to when Peter Parker brought up Captain Marvel.
Oh, don't invoke her name.
Yeah, don't invoke her name. Yeah, I was like this.
Because Captain Marvel and Nick Fury, they pretty much were friends by the end of Captain Marvel, but Talos still feels a certain way about him. So that, in hindsight, that dialogue makes sense.
Yeah. So it was like, that was. But I get it. It was cool, and plus there, I guess Nick Fury is kind of he's kind of directing some stuff going on in space, because now he's, like I said, he's extra paranoid now because we just had all this happen, and we lost, and we had to do all this stuff to get back. So we gotta step ourselves up here, because we done made Earth a little hotbed for people to come and try to challenge us.
So let me ask this. Oz, let me ask you, how long, because they didn't specify, and we honestly, we have no idea, how long do you think the Skrulls have infiltrated Earth portraying Nick Fury? I have a theory that it happened since he walked away in Civil War when S.H.I.E.L.D. went down, and I personally think that's kind of probably when the Skrulls came down. But how long do you think the Skrulls have been here?
I don't know about that. I feel like the Skrulls have been around for a while, but there's a couple parts to that too, though. So the first part being, literally, when Nick Fury disappeared, from Endgame with him and Maria. So that's probably, I feel that that's when the other scroll, the scroll came back. But
okay, yep.
A larger point to this is, so Nick Fury's in space, and everybody's like, why is he in space? Why is he in space? People forget, SHIELD is the protection umbrella for all things on the planet Earth. There's another organization that's part of SHIELD called SWORD. It's called SWORD and SHIELD. So SWORD deals with any threat from the outside of the Earth coming to the Earth. So that's why he's out there, because he's part of SWORD too. So,
okay, Migs, how long do you think the Skrulls have infiltrated, and how long do you think they've been portraying Nick Fury? If you have an idea about it.
Nick Fury, I don't know, but I would say that the Skrulls been around before, predating Captain Marvel, because that's kind of, if we're looking timeline wise, that would be the second movie in the MCU after, Captain America: First Avenger. But they had to have been around a little bit before that, especially to be portraying his boss, because they had to know information and know some stuff. You don't just get to, you don't just learn SHIELD and the inner outings and workings and who do you need to portray without, putting some time in. So, I wouldn't say they were around like during the Stark days, Daddy Stark days, back when, Captain America was still kind of fresh. Not that long, but maybe, 80s, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. I don't disagree with that at all. I think they can manipulate this to really be, go back as far as they want. I think they can, now we can kind of dive into the Spider-Man movie itself. I really liked how they used Civil War and Tony Stark. And, can we just for a minute, can we talk about how come Tony Stark is still causing all these problems even after his death? Like, this is all Tony Stark's fault again. Like
everything is.
Like, everything is Tony Stark's fault. Like, this entire movie is because of Tony Stark. Like even this dude is dead and he is still causing problems. But I did like the way they called back to, some of these, characters you didn't think about and brought them back to kind of use them to drive the storyline. I did kind of enjoy that. Migs, what did you think of? Yeah, what did you think of the overall storyline of this Spider-Man movie and how it kind of attached to Civil War?
Yeah, see, I like the callbacks. I mean, you had Civil War callbacks. You had callbacks back to Iron Man.
Yep, Iron Man.
Yep. Characters from there. I mean, they talked about some different characters. I really liked it, and I liked the okie doke with Mysterio. Now, most of us probably knew that this guy was gonna do something bad, just because that's Mysterio. He's a trickster. He's a deceiver. But I was not expecting the whole I'm a good Mysterio from a different universe, because I bought into that. I was like, oh, okay, that's where y'all going with this, and it made sense because of the whole snap thing.
Yeah,
the energy kind of changed some stuff and it opened up some things. So I was all for that. And then they hit you with, oh no, that was just a dude kind of writing a movie script and he got y'all believed it. And I was like, well, dang, you got the real audience believing that mess too. So I like that. I dug that.
Yeah, and
good okie doke.
And I think, like you said, when they did the Earth thing, and then the other part that really kind of had me believing it for a minute was when he, quote unquote, was willing to sacrifice himself, by kind of going into the big fire monster when he almost got the Ferris wheel. I thought that was really well done, and props to Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, I mean, that's due to his acting ability as well. Just being able to flip it like that. Oz, what did you think about the story?
Well, the storyline was good. I was like, I was bummed out that there wasn't an alternate universe, because it would have been cool to introduce that. But I liked all of that, and I love that even when they were in spoiler alert, when they were in Vienna, all of Mysterio's crew, they were always sprinkled around Peter, because there was that one dude who you saw him looking at Peter when all the kid when everybody was evacuating and running from for the first time. Mm-hmm. I noticed that. And I was like, man, why is that guy? And so he had him all around him all the whole time. But it was a cool storyline. Jake Gyllenhaal, I have a love-hate relationship with him. Sometimes he's great, sometimes he's just like kind of but I think as for like, man, that's a lot of weight to put on a 16-year-old who just wants to kiss a girl, dude. You know, so I love that whole aspect of it all too. Man, Marissa Tomei, man, Aunt May has never looked finer. That's all I'm saying.
Shout out to Happy, man. He got him one right there.
Yo,
the
Happy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
gonna give you a word of advice, Happy. Do whatever you need to do. Don't fuck that up.
Yeah, dude. Don't mess that up, man. It don't get no better.
Yo, y'all wildin'. Yo, Peter gonna pimp smack him like he did Flash. Better stop.
Dude, hey, yo, man.
Why he didn't have to smack that dude like that? God damn.
Nah, he deserved that. Look, I used to hate that, like, in the comics, especially when I was younger, when I was reading them, because, you know, Pete was the kind of guy that he's not going to use his powers like that to get back at a bully, because he knew he was definitely too strong and would actually hurt someone. But he never did it like when I started reading like Spider-Man comics like in the 80s and stuff, like late 80s, he would never do it. He would always control himself when Flash was messing with him or somebody like from school was messing with him. But I just wanted him to just flick him upside the head or something. Just do something. Just, you know, you don't have to show off, but just kind of let these dudes know, like, nah, look, I ain't no punk bitch.
Right.
Well, yeah. he did. He definitely smacked him upside his head on that bus.
I mean, but it was on accident though. I was like, okay, and that, you know, that's funny.
Right. Yeah,
but I just wanted, like, just one time, like, to do, like, there was a do y'all remember the black costume episodes of the animated series?
Mm-hmm.
When he was Flash had kind of yoked him up, and like he always done, but this time because the symbiote was kind of affecting him more, he yoked him back up, and Flash was like, "Oh crap! Like, whoa, hold up! Like, what is this?" And Peter was like, "Hey, you better chill out, dude, because I'm about to jack you up." And then Felicia kind of like stepped in between, and she told Peter, she was like, "You're different, and you scare me." And he was just like, "Oh well." I like that. I don't want him to be bad like that, but just like nah, man, you ain't about to be calling me dickhead and dickwad and all that other stuff. You about to get
Hey, that actor is a really good bully.
Oh yeah,
he's a really good bully.
Hey, I'll say this: there's an old Spider-Man comic where where the Kingpin is threatening Aunt May, saying, "I own you, boy. I know who you are," all this stuff to Peter Parker. And, you know, and Peter Parker goes to the Kingpin's like office and he says, "Yes, you know that I don't hurt people because of my powers." And he proceeds to fuck him up, dude. And see, he says, "Don't ever threaten me and my family or I'll kill you." You know, yeah. So it's refreshing when you see that every once in a while. Yeah, you know, once again, when you're faced with a bully, you need to handle a bully, dude.
Just punch him in the mouth.
Well, let me. I'm not always advocating violence, but look, Chris Rock said it best in his latest special that I was just watching. He said, you know, the problem is, man, we all got like, don't bully, this is terrible. And so people, when we actually had a bully, people forgot how to really deal with a fucking bully, you know? So it's just like, yeah, man. You remember the old thing what your parents said, man? When someone jack you up, you let them know you don't do that to me. You know?
Remember Tobey Maguire's little stunt with Flash when his power started working.
Oh yeah.
He was dodging all the punches and gave that man a little super punch, and everybody was like, "Oh crap!" Like this dude, like yo, like what?
Yeah, and they were like, "Hey, I don't know what's going on. It might just be nerd strength, but let's not mess with that cat anymore.
Exactly. We ain't messing around with little Peter Parker no more, because this dude done knocked Flash all the way down the hall. That's that pent up nerd rage right there.
Yeah, man. Hey, y'all heard what happened to Uncle Ben? Maybe he's got some repressed anger about that. Leave him alone, dude. Yeah. So, you know, yeah, man. So, you know, it's crazy. But I wonder how Nick Fury feels once he gets the information that Tony left the glasses and all that crap to Peter. I wonder how he feels with it, because I know Nick's like going, man, that should be mine, you know.
Well, I think that's probably. I think Tony. Well, I know Tony intentionally didn't leave it for Nick Fury because Nick Fury's kind of he's a wild card, and I'm not. I think it was. I want to say it was Mysterio who said it, but Nick Fury, with Edith, he would be the most dangerous man on the planet.
Man, hey, for all the comic book nerds out there, Nick Fury killed the Watcher. Okay?
Hey, dude, a spoiler alert, man. Some people haven't read Original Sin.
Okay, so sorry. It's a spoiler.
Come on, man. Come on. I know we talking spoilers, but...
Respect due. Okay. You're right. I apologize.
Come on.
Isn't that old, though?
It is old, but, some people haven't read it yet. Come on, man.
Hey, Migs, this is not a spoiler alert. If you have not read this thing, it's 5 years old.
Oh, yeah, come on, man.
I've read some of it. I didn't know that, but
see?
yeah, I know that story. But I know that story's old, though. So
yeah, but even Migs hasn't read it. Now you don't ruin it for me.
I get it, but the point is this. The point is this, man. Nick Fury is not cool, dude. You don't want to give that cat too much access to too much stuff.
He has taken out the entire Avengers team by himself on multiple occasions.
And also, I'm suspicious because he all this Avengers initiative. This dude, as usual, wants to make sure he knows and owns the power, man.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like that's why, and Tony's always been a little bit weary of Nick Fury from the jump. He's always been a little bit weary of Nick Fury.
And regular Scott, to piggyback off what you said like a while ago, I was reading this talk about this. Look, yes, everything is Tony Stark's fault. We know this. It's true. It's true. You can source it back. It's true. But what was said was really important. That he, spoiler alert again, he is always second guessing himself. He's a futurist for one, but he's always second guessing himself. And so part of his second guessing was like, let me have some contingencies for my contingencies in case they fuck up.
That's true.
That's
true.
Yeah, and so at least he's like going, I may destroy the world, but let me figure out how to like at least get some people off to the moon or something. He's actively thinking about stuff,
That's true.
They showed that in Endgame, and I don't know if people caught on it. He had been working on that time travel stuff for quite some time.
Absolutely, dude. He's a linchpin for everything.
Yeah. But him and Nick Fury don't like each other because they're the same person. They're both freaking narcissistic.
Oh, dude. But check this out. As regular Scott said, at least you can feel that Tony Stark has a little bit of love for humanity. Nick Fury is just like, yo, I don't like people. I'll save humans. You just don't know what this dude's gonna do.
I think that's just from, and if you look at the Nick Fury, because I didn't like comic relief Nick Fury and Captain Marvel, but when I watched, because I watched Captain Marvel like 3 or 4 times. When I watched that and then comparison with the other stuff, I can see why he changed, and I can see the need for him to be that way. Just because you just got to think, all right, if this whole time you just thought that you were facing humans and threats on that level, and then all of a sudden you got these superheroes, you got aliens, and it's like, what are we as the humans gonna actually do about this? It's kind of like the whole situation with Lex Luthor and Superman, even though Lex Luthor's a bad guy, but that might be a bad comparison. But at the same time,
that's a good comparison.
It kind of fits, because it's like, wait a minute, we got this going on here. So what if they decide to wild out, or what if there's some mess going on that is just way out of our league? What can we do about this as human beings? So I get his paranoia. Yeah. At the same time, he's still kind of grimy because, like you said, he's a spy, and spies are grimy.
And don't say bad comparison because that was spot on. Because
it's spot on.
And I'm gonna tell you like this, Migs. at the end of the day, people, please send your emails, whatever. But at the end of the day, you know how Superman and Batman, they're best friends. But at the end of the day, Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne have more in common than Kal-El and Bruce will ever have. Okay?
Well,
you know?
yeah, but Lex Luthor's evil.
Oh,
that's why I said
they're evil,
that's
but they're
a bad
evil. But you know what? The evilness of Lex Luthor is he wants humans to survive, but he wants to be the king of all the humans. But he still wants humanity to survive, you know. And I think him and Bruce, on a certain level, are always going, yo, what if this dude does flip out, you know?
Yeah, see, but that's the thing. Like, Lex Luthor is coming from a place of jealousy and contention. I think Nick Fury and Batman, that Batman's probably a better comparison to that. Batman is, I'm a human being. I got to be paranoid because this dude potentially can kill all of us. And I'm not saying that he will, but what happens if you flip out? What happens if you have a bad day?
Right, and then for Nick Fury, he was Mr. Joker. Mr. Joker. I'm a little bit higher evolved than Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon to you, but
what?
Oh, dude, man. Hey, he was like, I'll be your sidekick, but you're not going to be kicking.
Danny Glover's not a sidekick, though.
Dude, hey, man.
Look, you can't be talking about Sergeant Murtaugh like that. I don't want to hear none of that.
And Lethal Weapon, that was, hey, yo, I'm going to tell you like this. We'll get back to Nick Fury, but hey, even Danny Glover said he was a glorified sidekick in all those Lethal Weapon sets.
Man,
and he said that, and he said the reason why he did Predator 2 was to show that he had more potential than to be a black sidekick. And
so he actually said that? Like Danny Glover actually said that?
Dude. I give me a second. I'll pull up the interview where he said several times. He's like, yeah. If I had to admit it,
I don't feel that. I don't even see that in any of those movies. Just because, like the first Lethal Weapon was a lot of that was due to him and his family and him being a family guy and them going after his family and then him getting back in that. And then the second one, he killed the main bad guy in the second one with just a freaking sniper shot with a revolver, dude.
Right?
What?
Yeah.
What?
I'll say this. In my personal opinion, and what he said, his own words, I agree. He was just America's little sidekick, the safe little sidekick for that dude.
Dang, I don't feel that.
Hey,
Sergeant Murtaugh's the man, dude. I don't care.
I respect dude. But in my personal, unknowledgeable opinion, that's what I would say, and also in what he said too.
All right,
now back to Nick Fury. Now, Nick Fury definitely was the funny guy in it, but when he realized that the alien threat was around him, and also when he got his eye like infected and ripped out by a cat, he realized things were a little bit more serious than what it needed to be.
I'm still disappointed in that whole cat thing. Like, that's the reason why I was expecting a little bit better reason as to what happened to your eye. Oh gosh, the little cat scratch. I mean, I know it wasn't exactly, it was an alien cat, whatever. What they call that thing?
The most powerful being in the universe, whatever. You know?
What was that cat? What they call it? It was like a blokin or a blurkin.
Yes, I feel
something like that. But I was just like, I was like, wait a minute, dude. Like, come on, man. Man. No. That's Nick Fury, man. You had to be doing something gangster to get that.
Yeah, save it. But I get the spin on it. Everybody's like, oh, something tragic or whatever. They're like, oh, a cat. Yeah, funny.
Yeah, that was lame, man. No, but look, badasses who have eye patches don't get their eye scratched by a cat. They are in a fight.
Right.
They get sword to the eye. They got it shot, but they still live. Or somebody ripped it out when they were fighting and they lived to tell about it. Stuff like that, man. You can't get a little cat scratching and be like, oh, yeah, now I got an eye patch. Get out of here.
Yeah, dude, I know. That was terrible. It was terrible.
True that. The cat is called a flurkin. But let's get back to Spider-Man. Let's one thing I wanted to ask both of you, because me personally, I think this is one of the best third acts in a Marvel movie that we've had. Now, I don't compare this to an Endgame because I just don't think you can match that grand scale of a movie. So I don't think it's fair to compare it to that. But I think as far as any solo movie, this is one of the best third acts they've had. I mean, you saw Spider-Man using his spider sense. You saw him being kind of the genius Peter Parker a little bit, creating a suit on the fly, little things like that. You saw emotion. You saw him kind of grow up and, become the hero that he needs to be. I can't speak highly enough about how good that third act was. And not to mention, I mean, you were on your toes almost the entire last, I would say maybe 30, 45 minutes because you didn't know what exactly was real and what wasn't. Because I think what they did with Mysterio and his holograms and all that was just beautifully done.
Yeah, man. Look, they did a good job with that because, and especially going up against the images and not knowing what to trust and all that, because Mysterio's not one of those characters that is going to be going toe to toe with Spider-Man in a fight anyway.
Right.
So you gotta have a deflection. You gotta trick him, and you gotta be able to flip the script on him. And they did all that. And then, yeah, like you said, when he calmed down Spider-Man and started using his abilities, he's like, all right, you ain't about to be messing with me no more. Because there was a part, and me and Gina were talking about this because we were questioning it, that part with the Interpol. And they said they were, or Europol, wherever they were going. And it was like, well, wait a minute. When we seen it the second time, it was like, why didn't Nick Fury go there? That didn't make sense. And it was like, wait, that whole time, that was a projection. So even when he got shot,
right?
When he acted like he shot him, that wasn't even real. None of that was real. They didn't catch on to that at first. I was like, I thought when the first time I seen it, I thought that he got popped, but he's Nick Fury. He probably had a vest on or something. He just got away. No, that whole thing was a play on Spider-Man to mess him up, and that was
like a 10-minute sequence that really didn't even happen. And that, like you said, that's how Mysterio has to fight.
It was a scene within a scene.
Within a scene.
Nuts. And then he took a freaking train to the face, like dang.
Oh yeah, that dude took a bullet train.
And see, that's why. I really like this movie because, a lot of people don't realize that Spider-Man is probably one of the most powerful characters in the entire MCU with the combination of his strength, his spider sense, and, all that. He's one of the most deadly and lethal characters. And this dude genuinely struggled, and had to really, he got hit by a train. Like, he got hit by the train. And you don't see that a lot, and this is kind of why, I love Spider-Man like more than Captain Marvel, because even though Captain Marvel, she got tricked and stuff, there was never any doubt when she was fighting that she would win. With Spider-Man, like there was some doubt because you didn't know what like we were just talking about. You didn't know what was really going on until he calmed down and was like, all right, let me use my spider tingle.
The whole time he was just going
the Peter tingle. That's it, the Peter tingle.
Yeah. Hey, and the whole time this cat was just going, fuck, dude, why me? Why me?
Yeah,
why me?
exactly.
Why me?
Exactly.
And also the other side of like besides the couple things that always, not always, I just saw the movie, but that kind of struck me about the train scene is two things. This dude, it's not like you're going, oh, I have to brace myself for this. He didn't know what was going on, tripping out of his mind, and this train hit him full on.
Full on, like he ate that train, man.
Maybe that's what people say is that when you don't realize what's going on, you don't brace for it, you don't hurt yourself. But also, he survived that, and he's 16 years old.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying, dude? What happens when he turns in? Man, there's so much more potential for him to really get his powers developed too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that's why I was just when he comes out of the ship after he makes his new suit, when he starts going to town on all those drones and like the little scene when he grabs like the sign or something, and he grabs one of the little drones, and he kind of looks like Captain America from Endgame when he's swinging it around. He's got like Cap's shield and Thor's hammer, and he's swinging it around. That's a nice little callback right there. And this movie, and you know what? In a week or two, like, because I'm going to see it again. I'm not, I'm gonna have to pull a Migs, and I'm gonna have to see this movie a couple times. But I mean, because like I really enjoyed this movie, man. Like, and there's probably a bunch of little things that I didn't catch, but I just like this.
Well,
this
what else?
Go ahead.
And sorry to cut you off, but also the cool thing too was that. I guess you get a little taste of it in the Tobys and in the and Andrew, but this one, man, you see Peter Parker is an amazing photographer, but he's a science nerd, dude.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
He's a science geek. He's up there in the tier when they were just like, hey, let's get the smartest guys around. Let's get Beast. Let's get Hank Pym. Let's get Tony Stark. Let's get all the cast. They get Peter too.
And I like that they let him show that. Like he got to be he got to be like his mentor Iron Man. Like he got to be they even played the Black Sabbath for him like they played in the first Iron Man. Like there's a lot of callbacks in this movie. It's a great end to this phase right here.
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was very cool. I will say the one disappointing thing to me, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but man, I really, really, really wish they would have opened up that alternate universe.
they still can. And I was thinking about this, even though they got okie doke. Well, we got okie doke with the whole Mysterio thing.
Yep.
That is not a closed door. It really isn't. Just because we already know that there's some after effects and some things happening because of the snaps and all that and the energy they release. So, I think they should still develop that if they want to. I mean, because they talked about the numbers like they have in the comics. I mean, he even said it. He said,
"I love that
616 or whatever." And then there's you got the Ultimate Universe stuff like that. I mean, these MCU movies are more based off the Ultimate Universe, but let's keep that as a possibility. Especially, you've got the Fox properties under MCU now. Right, you can do some things with that. It makes sense. I mean, come on, let's get a real representation of Galactus up in this piece, man. Come on.
Please, dude. Migs, I know, right? Instead of that craziness.
Let's go.
And Migs and Scott, I want to say this too. Man, please tell me. I mean, I want to see please tell me how you honestly feel, but in the whole game of the illusion stuff, aren't you happy Mysterio was not a booty ass Mandarin?
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
come on, dude.
I am, he was, but he wasn't. He was, but he wasn't. Like I enjoyed the fact that it was still him. He was just a projection of himself, which is pretty much what Mysterio is. So I guess you're right.
Yeah, but then when you found out what Mysterio was really happening, you weren't all bummed out. Because I personally was bummed out about the Mandarin thing. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, that was stupid because that's not Mandarin's character. Mandarin goes toe to toe with Iron Man because he has the strength to do so. He ain't let me okie dokie and flip you out because I can't fight you kind of dude.
Yeah, I'm an actor.
That's not Mandarin.
Yeah, that was one of the saddest displays. So when they had Mysterio doing all that, I was like, go for it, do your thing.
Yes, and that fits his character perfectly.
Right, exactly.
He's not super powered. You got to remember, in the comics, this dude, he was a special effects guy in the movies and stuff. Yeah, like that.
He's a sneakster, dude.
He's not. You can't fight Spider-Man. What are you gonna do? Punch him? He's gonna knock you out.
And he's a sneakster. And let's not forget, if people have any issues with Mysterio and the other cat are the reason why Wolverine went apeshit on the X-Men.
Here we go. There's another spoiler alert, dude. You just giving away all kinds of graphic novels, man. Like, why are you giving away all these endings to graphic novels? That is Old Man Logan, by the way, everyone.
Old Man Logan is almost a decade old.
Yo, it does not matter. You are just giving away classic endings to these classic graphic novels, man. You're not even giving a spoiler alert.
Okay, but by me saying that, is that really giving away the ending? Because that's not giving away the ending of Old Man Logan.
Yeah, but a lot of people wouldn't, like, if you haven't read Old Man Logan and you just know that he goes and, like, most people know he kills the X-Men, but they don't know how, which is a big part. Like, that's a big part of how. That is the how.
And look, man, if all of the bad guys get together for once and say, yo, this is what we need to do, and they figure out how to get Wolverine, man, they deserve it. They deserve all of it.
And I don't doubt that, but you could have gave a spoiler alert.
I could have gave a spoiler. You're right. I respect it. Right. You're right.
I didn't get into Old Man Logan.
Look, that's
came out.
That's two graphic novels you done ruined for
okay,
Migs.
Hey, so Migs, don't listen to regular Scott. Tell it, hey, so the whole thing is, without giving away the ending and any spoiler alert, hit him up, spoiler alert. Dude, all the bad guys, it's what everybody really wanted in the little corner of their dark mind. All the bad guys got together and they went fucking to town on all the superheroes like they were supposed to. Oh, yeah. Now, if you get into some of the Old Man Wolverine, Old Man Logan, like little sub stories, they give little tidbits about how they got rid of all of them, but they got rid of the X-Men. They knew the X-Men were going to be a problem, so they got rid of the X-Men in a good way by using Wolverine.
All right. Here we go. We got two more questions, and then we're going to wrap this bad boy up. This has been a great conversation. Migs, I'm going to start with you. After this final movie of this phase and the two post-credit scenes, we kind of touched on it earlier, but I kind of want to get if you have one, a definitive answer. Where do you see the MCU going after this movie?
I definitely see more cosmic stuff happening because, I mean, look who you got left. So the Guardians are definitely getting a sequel. Or another movie with Thor, so you got to go cosmic with that. Captain Marvel's not, she's way beyond Earth level stuff. You can't really have her on Earth unless somebody as strong as her comes to Earth for whatever reason. So I see that going cosmic. I don't know if they're gonna reassemble the Avengers with a different team. I mean, they should, because they've done that so many times in the comics. I would love to see the all-new Avengers team that they had from a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Now, in saying that, you'd have to change some stuff, so you might not have that happen right away because that team was Sam Wilson, Captain America, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Miss Marvel, Nova, and Jane Foster, Thor. So we're definitely not getting no Jane Foster Thor.
But we might get Valkyrie. Maybe Valkyrie could take Jane Foster's spot.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I don't see Valkyrie. I don't see Valkyrie on the Avengers team. Like
right.
Thor coming back and helping them, would be cool. But I'd like to see an Avengers team run by Sam Wilson.
Yeah, I do too.
I'd like to see that, and you still have some characters that are around. I mean, look, you still got, you still got Hawkeye. You could call him if you need to. He's not. I don't think he should just go away. You still got Scarlet Witch. I mean, there's other people that you can use and that you could kind of introduce. I mean, and I definitely could see Sam Wilson working with Peter Parker, Spider-Man. They have a kind of love-hate relationship ever since Civil War, but coming, with him being the new Cap now, if they're going to run with that, which I think they should, I think that would work. If, like I said, I'd like to see a different Avengers team.
Well, he has he's got a great relationship with Rhodey, so.
Yeah, I mean, they got that too. You still got Rhodey. I mean, you still got some seasoned Avengers that are still around. So, and you add some people to the fray. Like I said, I think they should use the snap and the energy release to its full potential. Hey, look, this actually affected this person, and they got superpowers now.
Yeah, I think you could easily do that. Oz, where do you see the MCU going after this movie?
Well, I want them to expand it. I like everything that Mick said. I think I feel like there's still some good Earth stuff that's happening, but I feel like I would like to see some more cosmic adventures too. Like, cause like, man, that whole, I didn't see the movie and I'll wait for it to get on DVD, but that whole Dark Phoenix thing, that should have been a space adventure. They still could do so much. Like, I want to see some more space stuff. As a matter of fact, even aside from the MCU, you want to have a good Superman movie? Make Superman have a fucking space adventure, man. That's the thing.
Okay.
Why not settle? You scared about the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom? Put the Fantastic Four out in space where they do theirs, or the negative zone or something like that. Do that.
I would love to see a real representation of Doctor Doom. I have been waiting on that ever since that first Fantastic Four movie, because I don't know what that was with Doctor Doom. And I like the Rise of the Silver Surfer. I thought that was a solid film. I really like that. I'm a big fan of that one. I know a lot of people hate on that one, but I like that Fantastic Four movie. I just kind of view that as a standalone because I don't even own the first one. But I want to see Doctor Doom in the MCU. I want to see the real Doctor Doom that can whoop up the whole damn Avengers team by himself. He doesn't care. He's got his own kingdom. You ain't messing with this dude. Doctor Doom is that guy. That is a top 5 Marvel villain for me, and it might even be top 3.
Do you know why, Migs? Because this dude can come attack all the Avengers on American soil and then claim diplomatic immunity because he's a monarch.
Yeah, dude. Look,
and with full respect of the UN, he has the most advanced technology on his armor that he has, mixed with magic because of his mother's side of things.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. Oh, come on, man.
Dude,
and he's a
Dr.
genius.
Doom's crazy, man. That dude is he's just because of his mindset and wanting to gain. I mean, he's like Tony Stark, but just exponentially, just more narcissistic, more intriguing. Like, dude, that's like he's like the Brightburn version of Tony Stark.
Regular Scott, can I give another spoiler alert?
Why not? Look, I appreciate you at least let me, give the spoiler alert, cue.
I'm trying to step up. So here's another spoiler. So I'm trying to make sure the co-host doesn't. I'm already fired already. But look, dude, for Secret Wars, him and Doctor Strange they could have had all the power, and we know Doctor Strange is Illuminati. He's a good guy. The only reason that Doctor Doom got it was because Steven said, I can't handle all this. And Dr. Doom said, I was made for this.
Right.
I was made to be a god.
Right.
So, yeah, man, come on, dude. Come on. Yeah.
I love it. I love all that.
I stand with Migs. I am waiting to see a true representation of the king, the monarch of Latveria. Was it Latveria or whatever it's called? Latveria. I'm waiting to see that, dude.
All right, I'm with all that. I agree. I think Doctor Doom would be a great addition. I think as far as on a smaller scale, because I think Doctor Doom deserves to be an overarching villain, a big bad. On a smaller scale, as far as Spider-Man goes, I think potentially we could see some Spider Slayers. I don't know a lot about them, because
Alistair, huh?
Yeah,
that's a name I ain't heard in a while. Freaking Alistair.
Yeah, I think we could see some Spider Slayers, and I think Joe Jameson could be the head of that. Leading the charge of creating these robots and going after Spider-Man. We know he's got the hate for him, and like Migs said, he enjoyed outing Spider-Man. I think we might, and I think that's a good way for him to kind of be on the run and give him something that can actually affect him.
Yeah, but let's keep Jay Jonah where he needs to be and not turn him into some kind of crazy villain.
Well, that doesn't mean he has to be the crazy villain, but he could be the spearhead as far as
But he's got to love hate though. And,
yeah,
but all he's ever been is just a journalist. He doesn't trust shit. And so when he sees these superheroes floating around, especially somebody who says, I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, He wants to uncover the truth. That's all he's ever wanted to do.
He did actually use the Mark II. He was the first one to use the Mark II Spider Slayer against Spider-Man. So
but I'm
James Jonah has done some stuff in the comics.
Yeah, he's definitely done some things.
Some griminess.
Right.
If you remember the origin of Scorpion, he funded that.
Yeah, he's definitely had his hand in a few of Spider-Man's villains. And
also his son. Well, his son also being Man-Wolf too, but still.
See what I'm saying? So he could definitely. He doesn't have to be the bad, but he can be the head and the face of the Spider Slayer type.
There's so many more. Me personally, I don't want to see him in any more of an elevated role, because there's so many other villains that deserve their time with that guy, man.
I mean, I want to see somebody that can go toe to toe with him in a fight kind of deal.
Right.
We haven't really had that yet. I mean, you had Vulture was cool, and I like that contrast because he was older and a little bit smarter. So they didn't, they battled a little bit, but it wasn't outright fights. And I like that about that, just because you had you had an older man that had been doing his thing for a while, and then you kind of facing off against somebody that's still, they're still developing. They don't know what's going on. Like he told him, he's like, Peter, you're a young man. You don't understand how stuff works, which a lot of that stuff was true. So I like that contrast. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you got Mysterio where you're not fighting him, because in a toe-to-toe fight, that's not even a fight. Spider-Man that ass. So I want to see somebody that can actually go to toe-to-toe and put this dude down, give him a run for his money. We could get Kraven up in there.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Maybe a Kraven the Hunter would work.
We could get who else have they got? I mean, you got.
But why can't you get Kraven? You can easily get Kraven, because Kraven. Apparently, what if Spider-Man's on the run, there's a bounty on his head. Kraven, that's all he does.
See, and I think that, and now that you say that, that'd be good, because he could go on the hunt for him, because now look, people know that he's Peter Parker. So hey, now I'm gonna throw your family in this and use that against you.
Yeah, they've already introduced Dimitri, who is the Chameleon. So maybe he becomes the Chameleon. As a part of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he has the relationship with Kraven the Hunter, so that is already kind of built in. Let's give our rankings. We have our scale. The top of the scale is our rankings we use, which is kind of a love-hate relationship as well. The top of the top is the Iris West. I love me some Iris West. She loves stealing Barry Allen's.
You have learned to love Iris.
I've learned to respect her. Yes. And then after that, we have Uncle Oz's favorite rapper, MGK. He hands out solid 6s to anybody that battle raps him.
And anyone that will diss him, he will give you a solid 6.
Solid 6. After that, we have the Jar Jar Binks, who is
sad.
Yeah. I don't think a lot needs to be said about Jar Jar Binks. But yeah.
That dude quit his acting career and became a Siskel and Ebert. Actually, I don't know what he's doing, man. That's terrible. I feel for that cat.
So he's there too. And then at the very bottom of the bottom, we got from one of Migs's old favorite shows, we got Jimmy Olsen's Guardian from Supergirl.
That guy.
Oh, man.
And you know what? If you think it's really bad, just let him ride his motorcycle, and he can wear Mira's wig, and that just takes more points away.
And a fake-ass Mira's wig, dude.
So, Iris West is like a 7 to 10. MGK is like a 6 to 4. Jar Jar Binks is like a 3 to 1. And
hey, Migs,
the Guardian
if you really like it, though, you can put Iris West wearing a Infinity Gauntlet if you want to.
Yeah, we're gonna go with I'm gonna give Far From Home a solid 8.
Okay.
It's because it was entertaining, it was fun. I had a big smile on my face most of the movie, and that freaking James Jonah Jameson end credit was just y'all did that. Like, that's what's up. Like I said, that might be the best end credit scene that we've had in all these movies so far.
So that's an Iris West right there. Oz, what are you giving it?
Oh, I'm definitely giving man. Let me tell you, Far From Home definitely gets the Iris West. Not an Infinity Gauntlet though, but I would dare say she's holding. I feel like Iris might have like a cosmic cube with that one.
Oh, wow. All right. So it looks like we're all in agreement. I think we're all giving Far From Home a solid Iris West. So Peter Parker, you are not Spider-Man. We are Spider-Man. You are not the Flash. So there's that.
That's comedy, dude.
All right, it's time for the final blow. As our guest, Migs, you can lead us off with your final blow. What you got for
us? Check out Movies with Migs, like I said, on GoDefyLife.com. Also on Facebook and Instagram. Go see Spider-Man Far From Home in IMAX because it's beautiful on there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna check it one more time in Dolby. It's a that's more widescreen than full screen, but the sound in there is gonna be great. So that it's still the picture quality is great too. Like I said, normally I recommend Dolby over IMAX just because my IMAX theater doesn't have the nice recliner seats. But for this movie, you want a big full screen. So if you have the option to see that in IMAX, definitely do that. Or I think Regals is, some Regals have IMAX and some Regals have the RPX, but those are the bigger screens too. Definitely go see that. If you want to be bugged out and you want to be weirded out, go see Midsommar. I got some screenings coming up, so look for those early reviews and just check out everything that Go Defy Life has to offer, especially Take a Knee. I love you guys. Podcast. I listen to all y'all shows. Y'all be having me cracking up, and I love the knowledge, and I appreciate y'all bringing me on these episodes, man. It's always a good time when y'all have me on here as a guest, and y'all like I said, y'all are doing big things, and I applaud y'all. I applaud y'all work. Y'all moving up there. Y'all got the top 50 in the iHeart podcast now.
Yeah, for Apple iTunes, we hit the top 50 about a week ago.
Well, yeah, man. Hey, look, you get the claps for that. That's what's up, man. So. Y'all, I appreciate y'all, and y'all keep doing your thing, man. You and Oz are doing it real big. So that's what's up.
I appreciate that, man.
That's
appreciate that. Oz, what you got for the final blow?
Well, I got two. I'll make them real quick for once.
Come on, dude. Hey, why you starting your final blow off with a lie?
I know. See, now, hey, I'm not going to be derailed. I'm going to keep it going. Hey, to all our listeners, if you want a definitive review on all things movies, man, check out Movies with Migs. This dude consumes, downloads, digests movies of all types. This guy, like, man, what you have, Migs, half-baked all the way to, like, dude, it's crazy. And he is also a comic book connoisseur, delicatessen too. So yeah, man, it's good. And look, we always love having you on here because I always learn something new too, dude. So and then regular Scott, I got some bad news for you.
Here we go.
My final blow is watch Young Justice. It just
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Hey, man, stay tuned for Young Justice. It came out. Oh man, I had to watch season 3 all over again. There's some twists and turns coming. It's a great ride, man, and I appreciate it all. Anyway.
All right, cool. My final blow is shout out to Migs again, y'all. Like I said, we appreciate you coming on. Definitely check out his reviews. He does great with the non-spoiler reviews. He does a much better job than we do.
Much better job than I do, for sure.
Yeah, definitely better than Oz. He just gives away the ending from the jump. But no, definitely check out his reviews, man. He, if you're on the fence about a movie, he'll let you know whether you need to see it. Like I said, I watched his non-spoiler review of Midsommar, and I'm going to see that. But definitely check him out. We appreciate you being on, Migs. And I did watch Young Justice. So next week, we will be talking about Young Justice. We should have 4 episodes by then since 3 just came out. And we will also talk about the new episodes of Black Mirror that came out.
Finally, dude.
Yes.
Finally.
So that will be on tap for next week. Migs, really appreciate you being on, man. Tell everyone you'll talk to them next time.
Oh, of course, man. We'll see y'all again. And look, whenever y'all know what goes down with the superhero stuff. So whenever y'all want me as a guest, let me know, man, and I will be here. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate the Defy Life Network and everybody on there. So until next time, man, we out.
Oz, tell everyone we'll talk to them next time.
Good people, peace, chicken grease.
And y'all have a good time, because we're going to have a good time until we talk to y'all next time. Peace. That was great. I love it.
Yeah, that was an awesome episode, man. That thing flowed.
Hey, Siri.
Hey, how may I help you?
Play the Relationship Status Podcast.
Playing the Relationship Status Podcast.
You know, I would ask him, like, what are you doing? You know, where are you going with this? What are you trying? And he really didn't have, like, a real answer.
Okay.
So I didn't feel like we were going to be compatible later on down the line.
I think that goes back to something I've often heard and think myself, that men date women thinking they're never going to change, and women date men
thinking that they are,
thinking that they can change them.
Relationship Status. New episode every Monday at 12 noon on Defy Life Network.